Are you frustrated with playing the same boring chord patterns over and over again? You're not alone, and I've helped piano players like you discover that the secret isn't learning harder music, it's learning smarter ways to play what you already know. By the end of this video, you'll have 4 chord techniques that instantly make any progression sound more professional. So you've been playing piano for a while now, learning pieces with both melody and harmony, but when chords always sound the same way, your music can start feeling repetitive and flat. So let me show you what I mean with sunbeams through the canopy. So notice how this small excerpt uses 2 completely different chord approaches within the same piece. You can find Sunbeams Through the Canopy on my website or here. And I chose this piece because it perfectly demonstrates how 2 different chord techniques can work together in the same piece. So if you're wondering how to put major and minor chords together in the first place, maybe you're feeling a little overwhelmed, I have a complete tutorial on that. Just go ahead and check it out here. But for today, we're focusing on making those chords sound more interesting and musical. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Rosemarie. I've been teaching for over 20 years and composing imaginative piano music for nearly as long here at Must Love Music. And I'm going to share plenty of examples of different ways to play chords on the piano, plus links to deeper tutorials for each technique that we cover. So let's start with our easiest option, chord bridges. Listen to this example from Thunder on the Horizon. Thunder on the Horizon, you can get it here if you're interested, but I selected this as an example because it really showcases how chord bridges can create those really dramatic and rhythmic interests with just 2 notes. So rather than playing all 3 notes of a chord, you're playing just the outside notes, the top and the bottom. This creates a more open and spacious sound. By the way, if you need a refresher course on what chord bridges are, just go ahead and watch this right here. All right, so let me teach you the chord progression from that example. We've got A major, D major, but you notice it's not in root position, E minor, and then back to A major. So let's do this together. We're going to play the chord 2 times. Once short, hold. That's our pattern, our rhythmic pattern. So let's do that together. Excellent. If you need a pause, go ahead and pause, try it out, and then come on back. Now let's look at some broken chord bridges where we're playing the bottom note and then the top note. So I'm going to play an example for you, and then I'll teach it to you. So this is the exact same chords that we did from before, but now what we're doing is we're going short, long, repeat. Go ahead and try it with me. D, E minor, and A major. Excellent. Again, pause anytime you need to and then come on back. So even though this is the simplest technique, it's fantastic for playing chords with rhythm. I mean, notice how we used a quarter note followed by a dotted half note, rhythms you've known since your earliest piano days, and just applied it in a fresh way. Once you can play all 3 notes of a chord confidently, how you arrange them completely changes the mood. So let's explore this with Sunbeams Through the Canopy. Here we've added a little bit more to Sunbeams on the Canopy. You've got the QR code here, and it's perfect because it shows how each version of the chord serves different musical purposes within the same piece. So once our melody starts, the harmony finishes the musical sentence. So let's focus on just the solid chords. We're not going to worry about the little melody part where I'm going. Okay, let's just do the chords. We've got, our chords are G flat major, but we're not going to start in root position this time. So notice our D flat at the bottom, and we're going to repeat it. Go to E flat major, and then jump down to a different inversion of G flat major. Our hand doesn't have to move too much, and you'll notice I stayed in the same hand position and just moved here. And then when I moved lower, did you see what I just did there? I used my middle finger as almost like a placeholder, so I knew where my pinky went. And so this helps you move on the piano a lot smoother. Now for the broken chords. Breaking up the chord creates this really flowing pattern that can even substitute a melody sometimes. So we're moving from G flat in that same, and then E flat major, G flat, and G flat minor. So let's do that together. We're in that same position we ended with when it was solid, but we're going to play it broken this time. T, T, ta, T, T, ta, T, T, ta. Now, if you're finding it really challenging moving between these chords seamlessly, check out this video for tips to make them seamless. Notice how we're using chord inversions now, not just root position like in earlier levels, and this makes the transition between the chords much smoother and much more musical. So for a more advanced variation, you can try mixing up the order of the chord notes, like in Leaf on the Breeze. I'm just going to play the example for you this time. So notice I was not just playing a chord like, I was mixing up the order of them. So that's a really great option as well. In my online studio, you don't just learn these chord techniques, you create your own music using them from day one. My neurodivergent-friendly teaching approach means every lesson is personalized to your unique learning style, whether you're neurodiverse or neurotypical. You'll compose your own pieces and improvise at your own pace in an inclusive environment designed for accessible learning. Ready to create music your way? Visit mustlovemusicpianostudio or scan this QR code for your free meet and greet. If you've ever wondered how to play piano chords with rhythm, this level, level 3, is perfect for you. I've shown this pattern moving up in another video, and today we're going in the opposite direction. So listen to this example. Always makes me smile. So Tango at Dawn, you can access it here. It perfectly captures how rhythmic chord patterns can instantly establish a genre of music and create musical excitement. In this section, each chord repeats twice with a twist. So the first time, the broken chord is just going down, then skip up, and then the second time, up to the tonic, and we actually pop that note. I hope you notice that the chord progression walks down the keyboard. We're going B minor, A minor, and then G major, and then the typical tango ending. So let's go through that together. Purple jello, purple jello. Okay, so that's your rhythm. Okay, so now that you've got the chord, now that you've got the rhythm, let's do this together. And here I'm going to teach you F sharp, G, E, F sharp. Always makes me smile every time. So here's a question for you. Which chord technique feels most natural under your hands so far? Let me know in the comments. I really love hearing about your discoveries. All right, so level 4 is passing notes within chords, and this is our most advanced technique. At a first glance, you might not even realize these are chords because we're adding passing notes, as in extra notes you pass through on your way to the next chord tone. So I'm going to let you listen to this example, and then we're going to talk about it. If you're liking that so far, Leaf Dancing on the Breeze, right here. So I chose this particular section because it really demonstrates how you can play basic chords and add some passing notes, and it sounds super fancy. So rather than just playing a broken chord going up, we're going to add a passing note between each chord note. This creates a flowing melodic line that's still built on chord progressions. This particular piece, the chord names get a little complicated, but they're not complicated to play. We're going to start on B, stepping up, skip. Okay, so that's actually our pattern right up until the end. So we go starting on B, stepping up, skip, stepping up, skip, stepping up. Now, use your forefinger here because we're going to play a chord going down, starting on B. So let's try that together. We're starting on B. Stretch, going down. Excellent. Again, pause if you need to, and then come on back. Each of those chords got this beautiful passing tone that made the harmony really sing. And yet, as you saw, it wasn't complicated to play. Mastering these 4 chord techniques gives you the foundation for creating sophisticated, professional sounding piano music. Once you're comfortable with these patterns, you'll want to explore these dotted quarter note rhythms. They pair beautifully with these chord techniques to create even more rhythmic interest and sophistication. And next week, we're looking at the colors and personalities of modes. Thanks and happy playing.